Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to Maximum Libertarian. I'm Brian.
I'm Dean.
And if you're joining us here for the first time, or if you've been here before and seen us, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and as Dean always likes to say,
Smash that like button.
correct.
That's
Smash
not
the
my.
like button.
That's not my. What do you call it tonight? But that's fine.
Right, your gavel. But
Yep.
right now, and you can see it's on Twitter. I put up the at We Are Max Lib. Please go to Twitter if you follow us, and you can follow us there on Twitter also. So I don't know how long tonight's going to be. It might be short, it might be long, like the typical show, half hour or a little bit over. But what I just want to talk about is tomorrow, Jo Jorgensen's going to make history. She's already made history.
Absolutely.
But it'll be truly it will be official because ballots will be cast. I've already voted early, but Jo Jorgensen is the first female to be on two presidential ballots by the Libertarian Party. She ran in 1996 as the vice presidential candidate with Harry Brown, and now this year in 2020, she gets to be top of the ticket with Spike Cohen. So I think that's a pretty big deal that people should talk about.
It is a big deal, and it was funny. My nieces and nephews were over here the other day, and they're like, they start talking about election. It was kind of weird. Okay, this is weird. They're like, so who you vote? My mom goes, who you voting for to them? And they're like, Trump, Trump, and Maddie, which she would just got lost in her head. She said Biden, and everybody looked at her like they were gonna rip her apart. Like, what is your problem, kid? And she meant to say Trump. I said, did y'all know that candidate on the ballot? No. So I showed her there was a woman that was running for president, and they kind of spiked their interest. You got to get them involved early. I mean, I understand that part of my family is very Republican, and can't change that. But change young, get them, let them see that there's more than two parties, and just that. I mean, Jo Jorgensen's making history. I mean, she was 1996. She was a vice presidential candidate on a ticket, and now she was on for all 50 states now for people have the option to vote for tomorrow as president, or have already voted for. It ought to be very interesting at the end of the day to see how much percentage we get. But I think at the end of the day, we have won as the Libertarian Party because we are getting a lot more done now than we have. And I think we've talked about this multiple times, Brian. We need to start planning for 4 years from now when we have a presidential ticket again. That is a very important thing. I think we need to start thinking that way. Yes, you probably see under my little thing here, I have the whole thing about running for, put my little thing as House of Delegates thing. Because you know what? As soon as tomorrow hits, after that, it's time for me to start, pounding around in the pound and maybe take a few days to calm down, see where this country's going to go, and formulate better plans. I'm already formulating plans, but formulate more plans. The Libertarian Party is getting bigger. It's getting better, and whether you like it or don't, if you're not an LP member or if you're not libertarian, we're coming. We're here, and we're just going to get bigger. More people and more people are hating the way that the D's and the R's are, and that's just going to lead for us to get more people involved in our party. So I feel good. I feel good. I feel good for Caesar. You know, with all the things that have been thrown at us this election season, from I start early on where we collecting signatures with me losing my toe, to then COVID, to you getting COVID, and Caesar getting COVID towards the end of it, and all the bad stuff, personal stuff that's happened and to affect us. At the end of the day, we busted our ass. We did the best we could do. We can't blame ourselves for what we did. This year has been so different than any year that I've ever experienced in my lifetime, and it goes for election stuff. We got on the ballot. You know, we got to do things. I got to do things like I got to be a delegate for the national convention, even though it was remote. That's something big. It's something I got to do that I can say I got to do this. Me and you are electors on the for Jo Jorgensen on the state ballot. So I mean, there's some big things that we have to think about. And the train doesn't stop here. The train don't stop tomorrow. I love to see what comes out of the next couple of days because I don't think it's going to be over tomorrow. I hate to say it, but as long as if unless something majorly happens where Biden and Trump are running away with things, we have Pennsylvania and we have Florida to worry about, and those states already said it's going to be Friday before they probably was getting kind of information. So if it's too close, it's not going to be. There's going to be no discussion on where the election is at that point.
Well, I can tell you that I'm not happy with what's looking like it's going to happen because when you've got regular stores boarding up their windows, when you have fences put around the White House that can't be scaled.
Brian, the toilet paper is missing again.
Well, I wish it was that simple.
Egg, milk, the normal stuff. They think something bad's going to happen, and you know what? I don't blame them because if Trump wins, Antifa's probably going to attack our cities. They probably have a plan for that if Trump wins. Vice versa, I don't think it'll be as violent, but if Biden wins, they're coming for our guns. So you have to understand that there's probably going to be some civil unrest, and I think people are worried about it.
I do feel there might be civil unrest, and I think that's something that me or you. The only thing that you can control is your family, and anyone that's listening or listens. There's some things that you can't depend on the government to protect you. I would have to be if I know something bad's going down with a friend, then it's my responsibility to try to diffuse the situation. But more importantly, it's imperative that the family takes control of the situation, and that kind of bothers me because, well, the left has done a bang-up job wanting to get rid of the nuclear family, which and I don't care if it's mom, a dad, if it's uncles, if it's grandparents. Family's got to be responsible for the kids. Uncles and aunts. It's not a village it takes to raise a kid. It's a fucking family, man. And if you got these punks, that's what really is going to happen. And troublemakers going out there acting like they're going to fix the situation with an election by, attacking a Macy's or someone's small business or whatever, because that's going to hurt them. We've already lost a battle, and I just don't like. I know Biden's trying to use an Obama. He had to have got someone from the Obama campaign because he's trying to make it like, oh, I'm going to lead the president as for all Americans, even if you don't vote for me. But he's already being not diverse. He's being he's making enemies already, because when you attack Trump and you attack his voters, if you call me a racist and I'm not a racist, then in turn what happens is you start making me angry, and people will start acting like you're calling them. And that's
we all know that Biden's a liar. Biden is, if he gets elected, is not going to be Joe Biden. It's going to be Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the four that are going to run this country from behind Joe Biden. And Joe Biden's just going to be the Muppet sitting there. Yep. This country, if we lose, if the Democratic, I don't even like calling the Democratic Party, I call them the Socialist Party. The Democratic Socialist Party wins the presidency tomorrow, we have major issues. It's bad enough we had issues when the state house got taken for our rights here in the states by the Democrats, and now the very heavily pushed socialism crap that the state also does. If we have a federal issue with that, we are screwed. We are, I used the F word, I'm going to use it. We are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And people will say, well, you're voting for, you're a Trump lover. No, I'm not a Trump lover. Let me be straight with you. If you look at the statistics this time, there's a hell of a lot more people from Joe Biden's camp coming to be libertarian than I mean, I was looking at statistics, and statistics say that the Democrats we're drawing more Democrats than Republicans this time. So,
well, it all depends on the state that you go to, because
yeah.
I was just reading an article from Reason, which I'll link in the description below after we're done. But it was this was back in October 7th, and she was covering the spread on 4 states: Georgia, was Iowa, and let's see, she had two. There's 2 more states that she was like, Biden won a couple. It would be like really small, and Biden would win a couple, and then there were the other 2 Trump was winning. So we can
just as we're talking here, one of the things pops up for a live video for Facebook, says AOC. It's our agenda is on the ballot. Vote for Biden. Let's get out the vote. Our agenda. It's just blinked across there. We know that's what they want. If Biden wins, we are going to be in a socialist utopia that none of this country, especially the libertarians, are going to like.
Well, we've done a piss poor job, and I can tell you this: once this election's over, and really what bothered me, and Joe's a good candidate. We've had a lot of issues, obviously, with the COVID. We can't go out to the different events like normal. But, I've been part of the LP for 10 years, and I'm kind of getting tired of, and by now we've been we've been a political party since 1972. And I can tell you this: I'm getting tired of being just a spoiler vote. I'm tired of being a candidate that covers the spread. So it's 45 for Biden, 44.1 for Trump, and Joe's getting 2% of the electorate, of the votes, of the potential votes. And we have got to get better. We've got to actually be like Rainwater that's happening right now. He's possibly going to be either win it. He could be the governor, or
and
he
the guy
might.
In Arkansas, he's closing in too. The Senate.
Well, Ricky Dale Harrington is taking on Tom Cotton, and it's very possible. I was telling a guy at work today that I truly believe that the LP should have focused a lot of their money and time and effort on Rainwater, Ricky Harrington, and up in Maine, where it was having the ranked choice voting. If Joe Jorgensen got second place in Maine, that would it don't have to do anything, because if you remember, Ron Paul won the primary and they ignored him, or he came in 3rd place of one, and they just said number 1, number 2, and then they went right to number 4. The media will talk about whoever they want, but if we have to do things and make it hard for them not to talk about it. If Jo Jorgensen wins in Maine, like 2nd place, that's a big deal. So in turn, I think we, the libertarians, need to, like I said, we need to start planning better. And I tell you right now, I just watched a video, Dave Bautista telling everybody, and he was making this passionate speech about how we should all go out and vote for Joe Biden because the kids are in cages, and 200,000 people have died because of COVID. And it's like, I retweeted him. I asked him, where were you when Biden and Obama were putting kids in cages? Where were you when they were dropping bombs on kids, on innocent people?
He's acting like it's all big and bad, but he was sitting there making commercials. What was that commercial where he had the stay inside, and he had the alcohol? Like, he was promoting alcohol during the freaking pandemic. I mean,
But that's the state. The state kept the ABC stores open,
Yep.
and you
But that's
have
my
to.
point. Like
Because
they
people
decide.
can't get out and drink, and they're going to DTs.
I just don't. Batista and The Rock made some stupid decisions. I think that was their mouthpieces need to just shut their mouth, as far as I'm concerned. But you can't say much. There's data
Look,
out there, stories now that show, what was it, $25 or $3,000 Chris Jericho gave to Donald Trump, and
Trump.
1,000 or 1,500 Mark Holloway gave to Trump. And does that surprise me? Absolutely not, because you read what the shirt that Mark Holloway wears half the time now is the Thin 99, which really, actually, if anybody don't know what that means, that actually is for it's actually a military medic. That's what that. When you buy a shirt from that, it's not actually. It's promoting the Second Amendment. And it's promoting basically military medics. It actually isn't like a Trump organization type of thing. Just that a lot of Second Amendment people and a lot of Republicans wear that.
Well,
I have a shirt from them, and I enjoy it. It's a nice, comfortable shirt.
right. Well, I guess in the end of the day, look, I think if you're a superstar, if you can really raise an awareness of some injustice or something to that nature,
Drew Carey was allowed
I
to
do.
say,
What?
if Drew Carey was allowed to say vote Libertarian, spay and neuter your dogs and vote Libertarian, that'd be helpful too. But you can't.
Well, that'd be helpful, but I'm just saying when people get into when these superstars get in and start endorsing candidates and start backing an issue, you better be prepared and you better look into it, because it makes me angry, because Joe Biden is a horrible candidate, and anyone that votes for him should be ashamed of themselves. Trump's a piece of trash. I'm not a fan of Trump at all, nor did I vote for the man. But if you're sitting here going, the DNC rigged that election once again for Bernie Sanders, and Bernie Sanders has convinced a bunch of puppets, okay, to donate, and he used to talk about attacking the millionaires and billionaires until he became a millionaire. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And it's kind of disgusting. I wish people would wake up and start doing their own research. I mean, it don't take that long to look at KamalaHarris.info, and you can see her greatest hits of keeping people on death row, of keeping people in prison, and the people she kept on death row was an innocent man. But then she's now out here proclaiming that she's going to do civil justice reform and all this nonsense. She's not going to do nothing. Joe Biden's not going to do nothing. And the squad, they're feeding you a line of shit, because you're not going to be able to pay for it, because we're going to now be like Brazil. People are running from these countries to get away from socialism. We're running as fast as we can to get to it. And it makes no sense. But we, the Libertarian Party, have to start getting involved, and we have to start being better prepared. We have done a purely horrible job.
Even local to our research, when somebody, Bernie Sanders, you look it up, look him up, look what his political background is. There's something called the Bull Moose Party, Progressive Party of Vermont. Well, somebody local is doing the same thing. He tried to be our candidate, but did some things they weren't supposed to, and got thrown out. But you got to look at things like that. We have to wake up and look at the history. The Bull Moose progressives are Bernie Sanders, basically. So we all have to really wake up and research their political backgrounds and their thought process, because even within our party, so we don't make mistakes.
Well, I'm just right now talking about the super, like the Hollywood stars, the elite.
I can't
but they pretend. I can't understand what you say.
I said they shouldn't even be allowed to talk because they persuade people too much.
No. Why? You can do that. You would take someone's First Amendment right. That would be like them saying that we can't talk.
Well, they try to help.
Now, granted, I'm not Dave Bautista and I'm not The Rock, but
they sort of helped us our First Amendment rights this past week when they pulled a bunch of our activists and Facebook shut us all down. A bunch of activists
Well,
down.
but from my understanding, they've shut everybody down. There's no political ads. So like Republicans or Democrats.
Oh, this before that. I'm talking about just political ads wasn't anything to do with it. This was a totally separate thing where they just zucked a whole bunch of people that were libertarians, and that was the political party that they zucked. It wasn't directed towards the Republicans, Democrats. Then Then they had enough complaint forms that they reinstated everybody 24 hours later. That's when we heard about what you were just talking about, where it's all the political parties. But there was an agenda, and I think the agenda there, when it comes down to it, Brian, if you think about it, is Jo Jorgensen started getting media, and nobody in Facebook, nobody that runs these social media companies wants a third party candidate coming harder that might take votes away their loved party. And so the way to do that is to silence the activists and silence the political leaders of our party, to shut us up so they can talk about Biden and Trump all day long and not listen to a third party. Because they're going to sit there and control us any day, twice on Sunday. When we start gaining traction, like we have been, they want to shut us up. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear us.
Well, either they shut us up or they will take our ideas and use it as their own. That's the big thing. And look, I think it's a good thing when, if it's getting government, well, they want to keep government in marriage. But the libertarians' idea is to get government out of marriage, and so whoever wants to get married, a consenting adults can get married. But
funny or laugh at of how they're trying to appeal to libertarians, the Trump campaign, when Donald Trump Jr. On Instagram put out, and this is actually, I went to his Instagram. It's a checkmarked Instagram, so it's his real Instagram, about protecting your marijuana plants with guns for your gay marriage. Like, they're trying everything. That's why I said what I said about my thought process of them trying to shut us up. Because now you see the Trump campaign, his son, trying to appeal to libertarians. Hey, look at what I just posted. I believe in y'all libertarians. I think y'all are good. No, they're just trying to take the votes away from Jo Jorgensen because they're worried how many votes Jo Jorgensen's going to get. They don't want Jo Jorgensen. They don't want Gary Johnson. They don't want anybody to challenge the status quo.
Once again, I believe had the Libertarian Party put commercials up prior to the debates demanding, look, all you have to do is ask the people politely, hey, why isn't Jo Jorgensen on the debate stage? Call the debate commission and ask, hey, why isn't Jo Jorgensen being talked about here on your local news station? Just give them a call and ask. Had we done something like that, it would have changed. People would have started calling, and it would have harassed them. But at the same time, people would start going, "Hey, why isn't she being on there?" I think it's disgusting that she's not on there. And I really have a big issue.
And I'll tell you what, Caesar did a really good thing too, because lo and behold, today I'm flipping through the channels, and I hit Fox. Something caught my eye there, and I stopped and watched the end of a thing. And guess right after that, the first commercial that comes on is Caesar's commercial for city council. And
That's awesome.
Was like, hell yes.
Well, I tell you, that right there will make people see him as a real candidate. And
I don't know what it was something about Ron Paul. I believe they were talking about something about Ron Paul actually on Fox. It was on Fox News, the Fox News network, and all of a sudden the next thing was Caesar doing his commercial, and I was like, this fucking feels good.
Right. Well, that's good, and I really hope he does well.
And now I think what I'm going to have to do next year to get I think Caesar did a good job raising that, that the funding on that, and he got his face out there. That should be like something we sit down and this is what we need to do. Anybody that runs for office, this is some of the stuff you need to do. Do what Lynchburg did. Put a billboard up. Do what Caesar did. Have a commercial.
Right.
It's for a short period. That person sees your face, sees what you're about, even though it's 30 seconds or whatnot, and they put a face to the name when they go to the ballot box. And that right there is money. It's gold.
Right. And hopefully Caesar does well tomorrow. I would love to see him get third place. I'd like to see him get first place, honestly, so you become vice mayor. But be here or there. Yeah. If he gets first, second, or third,
turned upside down, let him be right behind first place. He would turn Roanoke City upside down in a heartbeat, real quick.
I would hope he would.
He would have
and I think
kissing our ass that are in the city of Roanoke.
Yeah.
Because they know that we could change things in their liking too. Like, again, we're socially liberal people. We are fiscally conservative, so
right.
They have to understand that.
So I think tomorrow, obviously, after the election, we're going to be meeting at one of the local restaurants here to watch an outside venue. And
which I'm hoping to get down. I have a little bit of work to do, but I think I should be done there. That's why.
So we won't.
That's why I had to cut into what my schedule was. Unfortunately, I usually am one of the people that like staying out the whole time, and I'm like, man, I have to do this family thing, and then I have a report. Snow came so quick this year. I can't believe how quick the snow came part of this country. It's getting off the thing a little bit, but it kind of threw a wrench at me that I don't usually have.
Right. Well, so tomorrow we won't be on here doing a live show. We'll come back on Wednesday and do it again. We'll just leave this
unless you're up at about midnight and want to.
No, because I work the next day. I was going to take Tuesday and Wednesday off, but since I've been off from work so long because of all the different things, I was just like, all right, I'm going to take one day off, and
Wednesday will be the election recap.
It will be, and then according to James Carville, I saw he said that he believes by 10 o'clock at night we'll know exactly who the new president is, or his. But now you're saying of course everybody's saying different things. If
I'd say maybe by 3 a.m. at the earliest.
No, I don't even know if it'll be that. You know what, man? But just for my prediction, I believe Jo Jorgensen will get 5%. She's going to get the major party ballot or access for the nationally. That's where I think the history is going to be made. I have gut feeling about that, even though I know she's polling 2, 3, 4% different spots.
Okay, so she's nationally. If she gets ballot access nationally, how's that? I forget how that affects us because.
Well, if she gets the 5% nationally, okay, what happens is she would be able. You know how on your taxes you mark that thing where it's federal funds for candidates, like you donate $3 of your taxes. We would be able to be eligible to get to that. And you want to talk about a game changer. And look, as a libertarian, I would get rid of that. I don't think the government should pay for candidates to run. But that being said, if you accept them that money, you can't collect money outside. You can't do fundraising. But I'm not really a big fan of it. But you know what I say? Let's use if you make the rules, we'll play your game. Because once we become the people in charge, we can change everything. So I think Jo Jorgensen, she's going to get nationally, she's going to get 5%. And I have a prediction that Donald Trump will be reelected. But there's going to be so much violence throughout the nation, it's going to be horrible.
Yes. So my prediction on that, and what do you think for that statewide? What do you think the number is statewide?
Statewide, it's going to be Mark Warner will be reelected because Republicans have all but abandoned Dan Gade. And And both constitutional amendments here in the state will be passed.
Okay.
Will be yes.
And in percentage for Jo Jorgensen in the state?
Jo Jorgensen in this state's going to get probably, let's see, I'm predicting she'll probably get about, she's going to get about, I could see her getting about 4%. I think she might get, I think it's either going to be, it'll either be like 3.6, it'll round up to 4, or she'll get 4%. Yeah. So, and 3.5 to 4.
Okay. So, nationally, Jo Jorgensen, I agree with you. I think she gets about 5.3% nationally. A little over 5%, which gives us a lot of power. I also do believe Donald Trump will be reelected. I think it's going to be bigger than what the polls are showing. But much like you, it's going to get violent. I agree there. We already discussed this in another podcast, and I have a bad feeling that Antifa and the bad players, once they lose, are going to be so irate that they're just going to want to burn cities to the ground and create havoc that we haven't seen in a long time. Statewide, once again, unfortunately, Mark Warner will win. Even though I voted for Dan Gate, I think Dan Gate was a good guy when it comes down to a lot of his thought process was very good. He just wasn't the person.
Look, Dan Gate, he was a fine man. He I guess he's okay. But the Republican Party didn't even push him.
Nope.
You know,
here's the thing here, too. So we go into that. I'll say Cameron Webb, unfortunately, is going to take over the 5th District because Bob Good's going to be eliminated. Quite frankly, I believe that Bob Good's a rolling piece of garbage. And just personal feeling towards him. Even though I wrote in Denver Riggleman I wrote in that because he should have been the real person that was representing that party. That party don't want anything to do with anybody that's a constitutional conservative or any kind of a libertarian-based mind frame. Even if they're a small L and still in the Republican Party, they just seem to they have their mindset on how they're going to do things. And unfortunately, Republicans have a hard time winning Senate seats in this state because the Democrats run things. Percentage-wise for Jo Jorgensen, I'm going to be a little bit more optimistic on that. I'm going to say about 5.4% in the state. I think she has the potential because of the amount of people voting, especially the amount of have a even higher than the 4%. I think she'll get over 5%. What my dream would say, we wake up with 10.1%, and we all us libertarians in the state of Virginia get drunker than hell because we just accomplished something that.
Well, I told him that if she wins the presidency, or if we get 10% here in the state, I won't come into work on Wednesday because I know I would be up all night long talking and excited. Yes,
you're gonna continue with the same
being inclined. Yeah,
I just don't see. I think Nick Freitas has a good shot up where he's at.
I hope he wins.
Yeah, he's like a good guy. He's a Republican, but he's a very libertarian minded and very liked by the libertarians person that runs up there. That's one person that you can turn to and say, hey, Nick Freitas, he's friendly to libertarians.
Right.
That's the truth.
So I mean,
libertarians now too. So
what's that?
Denver Riggleman's pretty libertarian friendly also.
Right.
So, but I think Cameron Webb, unfortunately, thinks he's going to flip the state. I mean, flip the 5th because the 5th is just a shithole. My district is a shithole when it comes to politics right now. Wish we had a libertarian. We'd have perfect opportunity if we had a libertarian candidate in the 5th to have major strides because of the garbage that we have in the 5th district.
Well, I think what needs to really happen is we need to really work really, really, really hard to get affiliates built throughout the state, throughout the different districts, because anyone who runs for congressional district seats need help, and they can't do it with just having someone at the bottom of the state. They've got to have it from top to bottom.
Washington County, which I believe is in far southwest, they're trying to start an affiliate right now.
Well, hopefully they do get it done. And, I know someone in Abington is interested in helping start Abington's group. It's easier said than done,
I know. I talked to the veteran thing.
God knows we went up to New River and Amanda gave it her all. And, hopefully we can get her to come back to help, maybe not be the chair, if you will, but at least be there to help guide them in some aspects. So,
we have a plethora of good talent in this state right now.
Mm-hmm.
We need to tap that talent. I know we're tapping some of it next year because some of the people that are already announced for running for House delegates, myself and Joe Pascal already have websites. I mean, we're moving along. I learned a lot in 2019. Even though I had to drop out, I learned so much that you can do different things.
Right.
And how to approach things. Having the website up earlier. I have Republicans. This is how it is in this political climate. We're talking about the political climate, and this is kind of how I'm going to tie this in. Where I have friends that are Republicans that are willing to go collect signatures for me. Republicans. I'm going against a Republican. And they're so upset about the Republican that has the position, they're willing to go and collect signatures for me. I mean, this is the political climate we're in right now, Ryan. It's a crazy climate. If we get Derek running, I mean, we're just going to have a really good. If Caesar and he runs too, we're just going to, and because Sam Razul going for what do you call it, Lieutenant Governor, that would open up Caesar to having an easier go, and get more recognition. There is so much potential in 2021 after we get by tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to roll out of this hellacious year in a blaze of glory. Seriously. I hate to say it. Because if Trump wins, it's going to be a blaze of glory. Mm-hmm. You're going to see people downtown burning things and rioting, and count that. That's going to happen. And even in Roanoke. Count it.
I don't know if it's going to happen as much in Roanoke but the bigger cities, absolutely it will.
Philly.
Philadelphia, Portland, New York City, Washington, D.C., things like that. It's going to happen. I'm not saying Roanoke. What?
I don't think it's too far-fetched to pull Roanoke start.
No, Roanoke could pull it in, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to see it here. But at the same time, I don't know if it'll get all that crazy here like it will be there. So, what?
Oh Lord! Somebody tried to call me. That's why that's not like that.
All right. So, we're at the 38-minute mark. So let's just we're going to wrap it up right now. Once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And Dean, what should they do?
Smash that MNF like button.
That's right. Smash the like button and share the video. That'd be awesome. That helps us out. We grow the page. We can get something and start moving a little bit further. And if you're on Twitter, please go to, as you can see right there, we are Max Lib. So until next time, which will be Wednesday, I'm Brian.
And I'm Dean. Vote.
And we will see you later. Yeah, no, only vote if you're voting for Jo Jorgensen. Otherwise, election happens on November 4th. All right, later.